What's up, everyone? Welcome to Break the Industry, where we talk about the fashion industry, navigating it, and learning how to think like fashion business people. I'm Reggie Casual, and today we're talking about one of the most dangerous traps in business, when your brand perception is completely disconnected from your business reality. Sounds cool on the outside to some degree, but if you're not built for it, you're setting yourself up to fall apart. So we're gonna break it down, we're gonna talk about it, so let's get it. All right, so perception versus reality. A lot of people think if a brand looks successful, it must be. Nice logo, check. Clean photography, check. Hype community and reposts from influencers, cool if you manage to do that. But that doesn't mean the brand is organized, profitable, or even sustainable. In fact, a lot of those brands you're reposting, likely they're barely holding it together behind the scenes because they have no real business model, no inventory system, no fulfillment structure, just vibes and borrowed money. Take brands like Rude or Amiri. Early on, they were built on strong aesthetics and celeb placement. But behind the scenes, production issues and distribution delays plagued them until they scaled up their infrastructure. And even now, opinions are split on whether their operations match the image. To really dissect this, we have to understand how perception gets built. Now, here's how it happens, very simply. You build a strong core aesthetic. You network and get some influencer placements. Maybe you catch a little virility or you get picked up in a local article. That's the simple way. And then suddenly your DMs are flooded, your store's selling out, everyone's asking when the next drop is, etc., yada, 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 what have you. From the outside, you look legit, but on the inside, if I were you, I'd be panicking. You're like, oh my God, we're doing so good. And then you're like, oh my God, we can't do anything because you didn't build the brand to handle what the image has now created. That's when the mask cracks. You've even seen this happen to major brands. Remember when Adidas dropped the Confirmed app and tried to position it as a premium experience like sneakers, but the app was like glitchy, customer support was inconsistent, and it didn't deliver on that perception? It left a stain on the user experience that was supposed to be next level. And now, like, come on, Adidas Confirmed, let's be real here. Anyway, this is when it all falls apart. The illusion of strength only lasts as long as you can keep up appearances. One missed shipment, one messy drop, one customer complaint that goes viral, and just like that, reality catches up to your brand. Case in point, Nike sneakers app. Yeah, we're gonna go in the opposite direction. The perception was exclusivity and hype, but what consumers actually experienced was frustration, bots eating up stock, and questionable draw mechanics. That disconnect created public backlash and damaged Nike's direct-to-consumer credibility even as their sales stayed high. And even now, Nike is suffering one of the largest profit drops in its entire history. This is not only due to the sneakers app, but it had a big part in basically creating that atmosphere for even long-term, die-hard Nike fans. And the thing about it is, rebuilding after that illusion breaks, it's 10 times harder, no matter what level you are at when it comes to your brand. You can be big, you can be small, it's hard to rebuild image again. Because now people might associate your name with inconsistency or unprofessionalism, detachment, just tone deafness, even if your product is good. Trust me, I know this so well. So well. Those of you who've been here for a long time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Before we continue, a quick word from our sponsor, Squarespace. If you've been thinking about turning that fashion idea into something real, whether it's a brand, platform, or just a place to build community, Squarespace is where you start. This isn't just a website builder. It's full-on brand building toolkit. You got stunning templates that don't look cookie cutter, built-in e-commerce so you can sell your pieces, members areas to build loyalty, and email campaigns to keep your people in the loop. All of it under one roof. And now with Blueprint AI, it gets even easier. Just answer a few quick questions about your style, your goals, your vibe, and Blueprint builds a custom layout tailored to your brand's identity. Fonts, colors, flow, it's all curated for you. No more blank canvas, no overthinking, just build and launch. So when you're ready to go from idea to execution, head up squarespace.com/thecasual to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Build the brand, build the community, do it all with Squarespace. Well, let's get back to the nitty-gritty. What is real branding? Now, here's the hard truth. Branding isn't just what people see. It's what they experience. And that's huge. How they experience something, right? Your site load time is branding. Your shipping reliability is branding. Your customer service, your return policy, your email follow-up, that's your brand too. All of that, not just what people visually see, it's the entire package that they don't see. Yes, a clean IG page is cool. And some of you probably just focus on that. I just got my stuff just gotta look cool. But if your backend is chaos, it will always show up eventually. That's what separates brands like Aimé Leon d'Or from the rest. They invested in everything from retail spaces to back-end logistics to match the vibe they project. It's not just mood boards, it's operations. So if your perception is outpacing your reality, you need to stop and rebuild the foundation. I talk about this a lot. Build the foundation first. Don't worry about the walls, the furniture, the pictures that you're gonna hang up. A lot of people, they tend to live in the future with their brands. I want you to live right now. And the most important thing is the floor, the foundation. Because if you have that, everything else is a little bit easier to stabilize. But how do we do this? What do smart brands do? All right, so smart brands align their image with their actual capability. They build around their strengths. They deliver consistently and grow perception slowly on purpose. Basically, a deliberate approach. They understand that perception is a byproduct of function, not a substitute for it. And this is where I have to go ahead and swing on my expertise. Japanese fashion brands set a strong example in this. Brands like Visvim, the Real McCoys, or Orally don't just focus on image, they root everything in quality, consistency, and process. The marketing comes second. It's important, but often with these brands, the marketing is what they deliver. They're not rushing to go viral. Most brands aren't. They're refining their systems, their fabrics, their fit. And when it's time to expand, they already have the structure to support the attention. If they decide to expand, that's really the game in Japan. It's a long one, but oftentimes they're just like, you know what? We don't need to expand. We'll gain notoriety simply by being authentic, being our truest selves. It's a little bit different in the West, where expansion is pretty much the number one thing that every single brand, large or small, wants to accomplish. They just want to expand. But sometimes expansion can cause you to lose track of what it is that you're actually doing. So be a smart brand. You can certainly mix being deliberate and also expanding together, but you have to do it smartly. And here's the thing, you're not in this alone, because we're changing gears here. We're switching gears here at The Casual. If you want a more complete breakdown on how to build a brand that looks as good on the inside as it does on the outside, check out our Patreon. That's where I will go deeper into brand system strategy and case studies, so you're not just building clout, you're building something that lasts. We have basically done a complete overhaul of how we're going to go about teaching fashion business. Instead of going by a lesson structure, we're going by a more dynamic structure, so you can begin to think like a fashion business person rather than just a person who wants to start a brand. There's a lot of differences between those, and we want to make sure that you are the good side of that, and that's what we're going to be doing there. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever bought from a brand that looks solid, maybe on the outside, but completely fumbled on delivery? Drop it in the comments. Don't name names unless you want that smoke, because some people, some of these brands, they be lurking. They'll lurk. I know, trust me, we've talked about some brands sometimes, and some people come out of the woodwork and start talking noise, you know. And I typically don't want the smoke with some of these brands, but sometimes they gotta be called out. it's a learning experience. Those of you who know. Anyway, be sure to like, sub, and turn on notifications, but most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info on international fashion culture and business from Tokyo. It's your boy, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu, and I will see you guys in a minute. Peace.